party jam over here. Listen, we got this party started. Thank you guys for joining us today on Sisterhood TV. Listen, I am excited beyond measure today, you guys. I have the amazing Siccone Prince on. He is a highly sought after motivational speaker, award-winning author, personal development strategies that helps people take an objective look at themselves. He is the CEO of SicconePrince.com, where his slogan is making motivational personal by introducing you to yourself. Hey, Siccone, welcome to Sisterhood TV.
Hey, Pat, how are you?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So tell us, what does it mean to be introduced to yourself?
Well, so many people ask the question, do you really know who you are? And I mean, oftentimes, if you ask that to somebody, they will say, of course I know myself, but my question is, do you really? Oftentimes, we just say that that's just the way I am when we respond a certain way or when certain things get on our nerve. But my question is why? It's not what people do, but it's why they do it. That's the kicker. That's the important thing. And see, we have access to so much information at our fingertips. We can find out almost anything. The problem is we're not asking the right questions, and not just of other people, but we're not asking the right questions of ourselves. And so when I talk about introducing you to yourself, my biggest thing is helping people to understand who they are and what they have to offer. Because so many times people have bought into a story about themselves that is quite frankly not true. And so understanding their gifts, their talents, their abilities, and what they have to offer to the world is so critical to them achieving a certain amount of success and satisfaction with their life.
Wow. You guys see why I have him on today, because you guys already know it's so critical. One of the things I always say is you actually have to know who you are so that you can really understand your why a lot of times. And so I agree with you, by people asking themselves those powerful questions is really important, I think, to helping us unlock purpose even.
True.
And so what are some of the questions, Siccone, people really need to be asking themselves to really discover who are they?
Well, oftentimes people wonder and they ask, what is my purpose? And I have so many people that say, well, I don't know what that is. I can't put a finger on it. I really don't know what my purpose is. Well, what is that thing that you do effortlessly, that you do day in and day out, that no one can beat you doing? What is that thing that you're passionate about? But see, this is the kicker. It not only has to be something that you enjoy or something that you get satisfaction out of, but it has to be something that somebody else benefits as well. I remember this one guy talking about how he loved to sing. And one of his good friends told him, said, yeah, but we don't love to hear. Because he wasn't good at it. He may have been passionate about it, but he wasn't good at it. He hadn't put in the work. And see, my thing is that if you can find that thing, that you don't look at your watch to see how long you've been doing it, that you don't look at how much time you put into it, because it doesn't feel like work. It's not a labor. It's actually something that's near and dear to your heart. If you can find that thing that really affects and benefits mankind, and then from there, if you can build your own personal economy around it, you'll never work another day in your life, because you'll get up to do what you were given and called to do.
Wow. You know, that's really powerful. And one of the things I'll tell you, we keep it real over here on Sisterhood TV, Siccone, because listen, my goal is to help people break some generational curses and to really heal from some past wounds, transgressions. And some of the things that happens to us is the story that's been told to us by others, right? So we've had some conditioning that's happened along the way, right? We've had some programming that's happened along the way in our journey to discovering who we are and ourselves and really understanding purpose. And so let me tell you something, because you mentioned something, and I got to say this because of the fact that anything you do requires work. Okay, so
Yes.
I don't want you guys to get it mixed up and confused about work. Work is a good thing. Let's just be clear about that. So you do have to put in the work. Even along this journey of self-discovery, it's work. Right. And the thing is, some people don't want to do the work. See, you got to show up for yourself in order to make a difference in the life of somebody else.
Yes, yes.
And that's why I love what you share about being able to ask those powerful questions, even from the story you just shared with the young man who probably knew he could not sing or couldn't carry a tune well enough to really affect move somebody else. But then is there an opportunity where that thing is burning inside of you and you want to go get yourself some vocal training or whatever that thing is, right?
Exactly.
So that you can perfect the skill, the talent, the gift you have, so that it will make a difference in the life of somebody else. So let's give us a couple shout outs to folks that have come on. Hi, Billy Branch, Roz, Brother Ghazi's on the line, Cecilia Hall, Nadine Marr. Thank you guys all so much for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Again, if you're just joining us, I have my special guest today, Sakoni Prince, who is a master at personal development and really helping us discover who we are so that we can move forward in this journey of purpose and destiny in our lives. Hey, Demita. Hey, Wendy Grammer. How are you? Thank you guys so much for joining. So, Sakoni, what is it that you have coming up to help folks with this whole journey of self-discovering themselves? What do you have going on?
I just finished a Take Action Telesummit this past Saturday, which was awesome. I had a whole lot of people tune in for that. And we talked about taking action, but it was also a launch for my upcoming Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain Summit, which is going to be in October in Pensacola, Florida. And that summit came about by the title of my first book, Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain? And it's in the form of a question, because there are some people that are doing what they were trained to do, but then there are other people that were doing what they were ordained to do.
And so my question is, wait, listen, when something bears repeating, it's powerful. Say that again.
There are some people that are doing what they were trained to do, but then there are other people that were doing what they were ordained to do.
Woo, y'all better tweet that. Okay, that's hashtag ordained. Okay.
And so my goal is to help you ask the right questions of yourself to the point to where you know for a fact your purpose. One of the most powerful moments in the Black Panther movie was when his mother told him, show them who you are. Now, notice the wording, show them who you are. It wasn't remember who you are or don't you know who you are? No. That wasn't even the question. The question was show them who you are. So in other words, he already knew who he was. And see, so many times we don't take the time to get to know us. We don't take the time to put in the work to know us. I remember, in fact, when I was back in college and really how this whole thing got started, I was in a relationship. And the relationship ended. And I started asking myself a question. I said, Sakoni, why is it that in most of the relationships you've been in, why is it that it was the woman that ended the relationship? Most of the times, 80% of the times, why is it that the female ended the relationship? And I had to start looking at myself and looking at some things that went on in my past and some things that had brought me to that point. So I started that journey then of self-discovery, of asking questions of myself and really getting down to the brass tacks, as they say, as to what went into making me who I am. And,
okay, so look, my viewers want to know, honey, what happened? Why would these women keep breaking up with you? What was your behavior that you had to examine, right? Like, I need you got to get real on Sisterhood TV.
Okay. All right. Well, sis, we just want to keep it real. In fact, one of the things that I discovered about myself was that I was forgiving. And what I meant by that is that I did almost anything that was needed to stay in a relationship. You know, I would overcompensate sometimes. I would even, you know, just like always giving the person the benefit of the doubt, you know, just trying to find out, you know, like what happened, and really not jumping to conclusions. Because one thing I've learned is that you can't go on your assumptions. I mean, true enough, you know, in fact, we all have those, but you need to find out the facts, because there's nothing worse than you taking your assumptions as facts and then coming to find out later that you were wrong in your assumptions. And so I spent a lot of time just in fact, really trying to hold on in fact, to the relationship. But in fact, what I found out is why I did that was because of the relationship with my mom, and how, you know, because of that lack of physical affection, I sought that in the young ladies I was dating. And so, in fact, what happened was, in fact, when it came to the point of me even possibly ending a relationship, it's like, wait a minute, nope, we can't do that, because that means that's going to take away that part that you need, that physical affirmation. And so I was willing to forgive. I was willing to, you know, give another chance. I was willing, you know, to actually hang in there. And what I found out about myself, our strengths and our weaknesses can be the same thing. I'm gonna say that again because somebody missed that. Our strength and our weaknesses can be the same thing. And what I mean by that is this. I know for me, I have a hard time letting go. Now that can be a good thing if you get a hold of something that's good.
Right.
But it can also be a bad thing if you get a hold of something that's bad.
That's right.
So your strength and your weakness, it can be the same thing. You can be a caring person. And that can be a good thing to help those who are in need. But then somebody else, they can look at that and they can exploit that simply because they know you're a caring person. So again, your strength and your weaknesses can be the same thing. And so we have to look at ourselves. We have to take a long, hard look in the mirror and see who we are and what we have to offer. We also need to look at what went into making us who we are. I mean, because that's what's so critically important, because that gives us a baseline for our activities, for our personalities, for our likes and dislikes. That puts us in a place to where we know what went into helping make us who we are. Now, just because you've identified it don't mean you've fixed it, because I can tell you one thing, it is a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong lesson. It's a lifelong work that you have to do once you've discovered who you are. Yes, once you've discovered what went into making you who you are, there are some good things about it. And those things are to be championed, and those things are to be nourished, and those things are to be cultivated. But then there are some bad things that you have to work on, that you have to put in the time with. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, because see, that's the piece that people forget. And real quick, thank you, Carlos, for joining. Carlos said this is good stuff. Travis Fortenberry, hey, Travis said he hard-headed. Travis, you know we can ready to talk to you, brother. Cecilia said yes. Travis also said preach, people. So listen, I know that this is good stuff. And here's what was so good about it, because we have men and women who show up on Sisterhood TV, right? And the story that you just shared about understanding your why and why you wanted to stay in these relationships that no longer served you. When you get down to why, because of that affection that you didn't have, that you were seeking and searching for, you can identify that thing. But then, like you just said, it's up to you now to take action, right? To do something different and rediscovering who you are. So I love that. I love it. You guys, I want y'all to hashtag do something different. Like we got to be in a position to do something different. We can't keep doing the same old thing expecting different results. See, we see that it sounds good, but we're not putting the knowledge we have into action. And that's what I love about what you were just sharing, and to continue to share about how we now have to take action, right? It's not enough just to know what to do.
Right. That is the first step. And I remember growing up as a child watching G.I. Joe. And at the end of the show, they always had an object lesson. And, and in fact, the little kid they were talking to, they would say, well, now I know. And then one of the Joes would say, well, knowing is half the battle. And yes, once you do know, that is one thing, but that's just half the battle. The other half is doing something about it. And now when it comes to that, there are times when you need help. I mean, even when you've identified areas in your life that are not in their best possible light, then it's time to get some assistance. It's time to go to work, and it's time to put in the work. And one of the things that really kind of gets to me, especially with some of my coaching clients, not all of them. In fact, believe me, but there are some that they won't put in the work. And like we talked about this past weekend in our Take Action Tell Us Summit, I can give you a recipe for your favorite dessert. But if you never get the ingredients, if you never put them together according to the recipe, you can't expect it to turn out the way it's supposed to. And so many of us, we have do stuff. We have access to so much information. We have access to so many coaches, so many programs. We go to so many conferences, watch so many webinars. Are we putting anything into practice? Are we doing it? Are we taking action? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. And this is not for you to answer to somebody else just while they're standing in front of you. My thing is we need to make a promise to ourselves. And can I share something with you real quick and with your audience?
You can. Hold the thought. The reason people can't make a promise to themselves is because they haven't given themselves permission. See, you have to give yourself permission to make the promise. So share what you have to say to the audience.
Well, now what I wanted to share was this. I had a friend of mine. He told me that his father promised him a car when he graduated high school. And unfortunately, at his graduation and thereafter, there was no car. There was no vehicle. And it really got to him to the point to where he said to himself, I'm going to make sure that every time any one of my children graduates, I'm going to get them a vehicle. Now, his kids didn't even know this. They didn't know this. But it was a promise he made to himself. And without fail, every time they graduate, coming up to their graduation, he had already made arrangements and provisions to when they graduated, they got the car. That was a promise he made to himself. I have another friend. He had an issue with his father always being gone when he was younger. It wasn't until his father's father died, his actual grandfather passed, that he understood why. Because his father pulled him to the side and told him with tears in his eyes, he said, one of the reasons why I worked so hard, one of the reasons why I was gone for so long, because my father, your grandfather, didn't take being a father seriously. And there were plenty of nights me and my brothers, your uncles, went to bed hungry. And he said, I would never let that happen to my children. So he worked and he worked and he worked and he worked. So because he made a promise to himself that his children would never know what it was like to go to bed hungry. Well, that same young man, he made a promise to himself that his kids would never know what it was like to not have their father around. But he did that because of what his dad did. Mm-hmm. So he is a stay-at-home father. Now he is financially independent. I will add that he does work, but he's there for his kids because of the promise he made to himself. So my question to you is this: what promises have you made to yourself? What are the non-negotiables? What are the things that you won't let slip or slide? Okay, now that you have that list, now you need to add something to it. Add something that's going to allow you to be more productive. Add something that's going to allow you to be a better person. Add something that's going to allow you to make a difference in somebody else's life. Because that's what's going to make the difference. That's what's going to leave the legacy. And that's what's going to make the impact in the world around you.
Yes. Look at that. Y'all, I told y'all he's fire, right? Ah!
Get me started.
I love it. Thank you, Cecilia. Cecilia said, hashtag, we got to do something different. Shawana Kennedy says, hashtag, move to action. Sharon King says, hashtag, do something different. You guys, that is so true. You know, one of the things we talked about earlier, if you're just joining, a lot of us do the things we do based on the conditioning, again, and the things that we've seen growing up. So those two stories that Sakoni just shared is a product of that. So either I always tell people, if you grew up in a home where there was a lot of arguing and fighting, that might be the way you engage to settle disagreements, right? However, you could be that person though that says, because I saw all this fighting and arguing, I shut down. I don't want to do that. So again, I'm telling you guys, based on our conditioning, based on our upbringing, our environments, it really sometimes can shape who we are in our belief system. So I love this personal development track that we're on that says, are we willing to have a different thought, a different belief? Because our belief determines our thoughts. Our thoughts determine our behavior. Behavior determines your actions, right? We all know this. And so because of that, it really goes back to when Sakoni mentioned earlier around the clients that he coaches and why some of us can go to conference after conference after conference. We can be on workshop after workshop after workshop, and we can have coaches after coaches after coaches, and we're still stuck. Do you understand that? Still stuck. And that is why you really have to be in a position to be able to go back and examine this thing that has you stuck. I always say you got to go back to the beginning of a thing in order to get healed, in order to get some type of resolution about why you show up the way you show up, why you say what you say, why you do what you do. Like, if you don't understand that, you're going to keep operating the way you are. And so that's why I'm asking you guys to hashtag do something different, because I believe it's that difference that's going to make like when I tell you, it's going to open the world up for you when it comes to really getting what you want, asking for what you want, and then taking action on that. One of the other things that Sakoni said was that when he coaches clients, one of the things that I will tell you to maybe start incorporating. See, I believe we all have the ability, Sakoni, because we're all able, because that's how God made us. Okay, we're all able to do amazing things. But the thing is, you got to ask people, are you willing? See, being willing and able are two different things. And that's why people aren't moving forward towards their dreams and goals, because they're not willing to do the work. Like you said, you can give them the recipe. And I'm going to tell you right now, y'all know how I roll. I'm one of them people. You can give me the recipe all day long to make something. Y'all know I ain't about to cook because I'm able. Can I cook? I'm able, but I ain't willing. I'm not willing. And so you got to show up being honest. That's why you keep talking about, I went to that conference and it didn't work. I went to that coach and that didn't work. You ain't willing. Be honest with yourself. Somebody come up there trying to give me a recipe to make something, I'm going to look at them like they're crazy, y'all. I'm going to be like, no, I'm able body. I can do it, but I ain't willing. I am not about to stand in the kitchen and make nothing. We get ready to call some people who like to cook because that's their gift, skills, and talent. And I'm going to make sure I put them on. So I'm just being honest. See, some of y'all going to have to show up honest today and say, am I willing to do the things that are required to get me to that next level? Yes, I'm telling you. Listen, Shawana, I believe we're all ready. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe there's one person that's not ready, because, see, we keep thinking we need to get ready. We don't need to get ready for anything. See, God doesn't call who? He's not trying to call people who think they qualified all the time, right?
He qualifies us.
We're already ready. But the thing is, you got to be willing. We got to be willing. We got to have a willing spirit. to do great things. We got to be willing. When somebody needs help, you could be in a position to help somebody, but will you do it? See, you know you're able to help people, but will you do it? See, that's the key. Like, yeah, I got the resources. I got some information. I can help somebody, but I ain't willing to give it to them. See, you got to be honest with yourself about how you get ready to show up in 2018. And the reason Sakoni is on here, because listen, we believe in you. And as coaches, let me tell you, I have to say this because I've been coaching my daughter's basketball team. So I've always been a coach. And coaches want their players to win, baby. Like, we want you to win. That's why we in it. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You're already great. You already have the skills. You have the talent. You have everything already inside of you. But let me tell you what good coaches do. They give you strategy. See, Pat Jackson wasn't trying to change Michael Jordan, right? He already knew Michael showed up with gifts and talents. He was trying to give Michael strategy. And that's what made him great, okay? And so Michael took action. And that's what we want you guys to be able to do. Thank you, Billy. Billy said that's why she signed up for our business startup program. We'll talk a little bit more, Billy, about that. But yes, Patrina Jackson says, hey. Cecilia says, yes, you can't conquer what you don't confront. Elena says, thank you for sharing and inspiring, Sakoni. And Pat, yes, I love it. Sharon King says, amen. So Sakoni, look, you are doing some amazing things. What is it that people need to do, Sakoni? What is that thing you think people really need to do to move their life, their relationships, their career, and their businesses forward this year?
Well, the thing that really sticks out to me is you have to define your why. And I know you've already talked about that already, but it is so important, because if you don't know what that why is, you'll stop, you'll give up, you'll pull over to the side of the road. And I tell people all the time, for me, my why, I don't know who I'm supposed to be speaking to. I don't know their names, their address, their phone. If I had a list of people I was supposed to impact, I would set up meetings with them, grab a cup of coffee, go have dinner. We would talk, and I would go on and I would do what I was supposed to. But since I don't know who they are, I have to keep going. I have to keep talking. I have to keep presenting. I have to keep helping people to understand that, look, you have more to offer than you already are. That's why, going back to my original slogan was introducing you to yourself. But I think it's a little bit to where I say we make motivation personal, because once you understand who you are and your purpose, once that's internal, you don't really need external motivation. But once you understand it from an internal perspective, you're not going to stop, because you realize somebody is waiting on you. Somebody's waiting on you to open that business. Somebody's waiting on you to actually start that lawn service. Somebody's waiting on you to write that play, that book, that movie. Somebody's waiting on you to actually go on tour, to actually start singing. Somebody's waiting. They don't want to hear me sing. Believe me, they don't. But they're waiting on you. And so even speaking, and one of the things that really freed me up, even being a coach, even being a motivation speaker, even being a personal development strategist, I realized that I'm not for everybody. So that means that there's room for you. Somebody won't listen to me. They won't give me the time of day, but they'll hear you. So my job is to encourage whoever listens to me to know that they have something to offer the world, and there's somebody somewhere sitting, crying, waiting on you to show up. I walk in the room, they just turn their head. But when you show up with your story, with your background, with your input, with your influence, you are going to be the light in their darkness. So don't leave them sitting there waiting for you to show up, waiting for you to be. Don't wait until it's right. I was telling somebody this the other day. The reason we have an iPhone 10, because we had an iPhone 1. We had an iPhone 2. They didn't wait until they got it perfect. They put the first one out and kept working on it. The reason we have a Samsung Galaxy 8, because they didn't stop at the 1. And see, oftentimes we want to wait till it's perfect. Where you are right now is perfect for somebody.
That's right.
Your story right now is perfect for somebody. Your presentation right now is perfect for somebody. So don't let that stop you from pouring into somebody, because somebody somewhere is waiting on you.
Oh, y'all, did you guys hear that? That was powerful. I'm telling you right now, Sakoni, you are so right. Because I'm telling you right now, people are saying, but you're already doing what I desire to be doing. So really, I don't know if my skill and talent is really that warranted. But he just told you. See, you got to know in your head, you're not for everybody. We're not for everybody. See, I believe we're purposed to truly support certain people, to serve certain people. And right. I told you guys, if you saw my post today, it was about asking for what you want. See, the reason Sakoni is on Sisterhood TV today, because so many people think, oh, this platform is just for women. What if he had not come up and asked me? We met. We've been Facebook friends, but we actually met in person in Chicago at a conference, at Dr. Ruth West Speakers Live event conference. And we had already had a connection, obviously, in this social media space. But when we connected in Chicago, I knew right then and there that because he was in personal development space, I'm in that space, that we both had something that we could share with the world and do something great together. And when he asked to be a part of Sisterhood TV, he says, I want to come on. I immediately said yes. What if he had not asked me? You guys wouldn't be getting the nuggets that you're getting today. Do you understand that? You guys got to ask for what you want. Show up for yourself today. Because like you said, if I had a list of folks I was supposed to call and reach, I would be doing that. But because God hasn't given me the list, I got to show up in spaces. Because somebody on here needs him. Somebody needs to be at that summit that you're getting ready to do. Can you give them the information about this summit?
Well, the summit is going to be October 20th, 2018, and it's going to be in Pensacola, Florida. Now, I live in Mobile, but that's about an hour east of where I am. But I'm telling you, it's going to be great. You can go to climbtherightmountain.com and find out more information. climbtherightmountain.com. That's all one word, and find out more information. There, you can actually see pictures from our 2016 and 2017 summits. And this year is going to be even better because we're going to have a chance after we're finished. We're going to finish up half a day so everybody can go and enjoy the beautiful Gulf Coast, enjoy some of the beaches that are some of the most beautiful in the world. But I wanted to make sure that not only did they get a staycation or a semi-vacation, but that they got the information that they needed to determine whether or not they were doing what they were ordained to do or what they were trained to do. And that's why it is so important for you to really ask yourself the right questions and be willing to be transparent with you and find out, are you doing what you were supposed to be doing? And so this summit is going to be great. ClimbTheRightMountain.com. You can find out more information. And if you want to get in contact with me, SakoniPrince.com. That's CICONEPRINCE.com. And you can search for me on all social medias, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Sakoni Prince. I believe I'm the only one out there because I've actually Googled and looked myself up. But yes, CICONEPRINCE.com. And I tell you, you will be remiss if you didn't attend this Are You Climb the Wrong Mountain Summit, because it definitely has had an impact. I actually had somebody a couple of years ago that said, Sakoni, I read your book and I quit my job. I said, what, you did what? She said, I read your book and I quit my job because your book was the push I needed in order for me to do what I wanted to do. Now, I talk in my book about not having too risky behavior, but having a calculated risk. And that's one of the things that I really encourage people to do. But when you know where you are and when you know what your purpose is, you don't have to second guess it. You don't have to get permission. You can go with the assurance of knowing that I'm doing what I was supposed to be doing. So this summit, it helps you with that. It helps you with that.
I love that. And Shawana Kennedy, thank you so much for putting the website, www.climbtherightmountain.com in the feed. Roz Jones, thank you so much for chiming in today, sister. Carlos Christian, how are you, brother? Yes, he said good stuff. Buffy O'Neill, yes, girl, we got to show up for ourselves. Yes, Shawana Kennedy says show up for yourself and being authentic in this season. Roz Jones says she's coming. She says she's in Jacksonville. Buffy said, "Amen, Pat." Okay, so you guys, Patrina Jackson says, "Yes, I just realized that if I continue trying to make sure I'm perfect, she'll never leap." So again, somebody somewhere is waiting on you. I need you guys to hashtag Billy Branch. That is so true. Before we leave, I need you to hashtag somebody is waiting on me.
Yes.
Hashtag somebody is waiting on me. See, somebody is waiting on you, and you don't have another moment to waste to say, I'm getting ready. I'm not ready yet. I still got to perfect this thing that I'm trying to do and launch and be. Nope. Your time is now. Hey, Gwen Cunningham, how are you? Hey, Saucony Gwen said hi.
Hey, Gwen. Y'all really want to see my video this week.
Hashtag somebody is waiting on me. Thank you so much. Oh, Brother Ghazi, thank you so much. Patrina Jackson, thank you so much. She says she knows somebody's waiting on her. Hashtag. Thank you guys so much, because thank you, Cecilia. Yes, somebody is waiting on you, girl. So listen. Yes, thank you, Gwen. Somebody is waiting on you. Because you guys are now declaring that you know you have purpose, that you know you have this amazing gift, that you know without a shadow of a doubt that somebody is waiting on you. I need you to take action today. We need you to take action today.
Yes. Yes.
No more waiting around trying to perfect that thing. It's time for you to write that book. Like you said, it's time for you to open that business. It's time for you to put in that proposal. It's time for you to go ask for that promotion on your job. It's time for you to really do some soul searching to say, what is the thing that I'm supposed to bring to the marketplace? Or what is that thing? How am I supposed to show up in my children's life? What is the thing you're supposed to be doing right now? And you need to start taking action, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But Saucony, thank you so much for joining me today. Listen, y'all, we could talk an hour, but y'all know we got things to do. We got people's lives to impact. So we both got to get going. But I want to thank my special guest today, Saucony Prince, and look him up and go to this summit, climbingtherightmountain.com, because like you said, you could be trained, but not ordained. So listen, I want you to be trained and ordained. How about that? Because see, there's some things that we're ordained to do, but we don't have the strategy and the skills yet. And that's why it's good to have a coach, so that you can get that training that you need, so that you can go on and do that thing that you were ordained to do. Listen, thank you so much for joining us today. Saucony, you know we getting ready to start this thing, babe. Like we getting ready to end this like we started it. We going out without music.
Okay.
That's how it is. All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Yes. Look, Shawana said already done. She's already taking action. That's what we love, my sister. I'm so proud of you. I love seeing y'all go out and crush those goals. Make it happen.
That's right.
You guys go enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget, somebody's waiting on you. I'm waiting on you. I need you to be, if you want to be a guest on this show, inbox me so we can get you on Sisterhood TV so that you can impact and serve the people that you are supposed to reach. Love you guys.